All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Steve Gresham. I'm the founder of Savings Highway Global, and we have one of our top business partners here as we bring in different businesses into our mix to provide the best of best services for you in helping you save money. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how do you speak to a business to refer them for a free savings review. And then we have a team that will help lower their bills without switching their providers. And then about a month or so later, you're going to get paid. And the beautiful thing about it is a small mom and pop business, you might make $500. A medium-sized business, you might make $1,000, $2,000. And a large business, you make $5,000, $10,000 or more just for referring that business. So it's very exciting to have this as just one of the lanes of your savings highway. You have many lanes in savings highway. And tonight, I'm going to introduce you to Jeff Stolper. And he is one of our advisory board members as well. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing great, Steve.
Awesome. And Jeff is the founder, the pioneer of the lowering bills business, the negotiations business. And he's a very tough negotiator, and he's the perfect man for the job. So, Jeff, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, give everybody the 2-minute overview of what lowering the bills does for businesses. And then we'll get into some examples of what we've recently done, or maybe you want to start with 1 or 2 examples that we've done, and just kind of give a quick, 4 or 5 minutes overview of what we're doing.
Okay, so everybody, welcome to the Zoom call tonight. What we do is we will work with those businesses to have the same exact providers and the same level of service or better for less money. And then what we do is we split the savings. So for example, I always like to use, whenever I'm talking to someone, a real example. So I would say, hey, Steve, you have a cell phone, right? We're on a cell phone. You're working with Verizon, right? Right. How much are you paying a month? Roughly $200 a month. Great. Well, if we could show you how to take that bill, and instead of $200, now you're saving $50 a month. Now you're paying $150 to Verizon. That's $600 a year, or $1,200 over 2 years. And we split the savings, and you would keep $600 and we would get $600 over, That's how it works. And we could do it on all of your bills, whether it's going to be for a business. And we look at the type of business during the savings, complimentary savings review, and say, great, you're a restaurant. Well, then you're going to have bills like your internet. You're going to have phone lines. You're going to have trash. You're going to maybe have your windows washed. You're going to pay for security for the store. You're going to run credit card transactions. You might have a payroll that you're doing through ADP or Paychecks. So we'll analyze based on the type of company that it is or business, what type of bill types they're normally going to fall into when we do the interview. And let's say in the case of, Papa John's, right? So Papa John's, we saved them really between the residential and business bills about $64,000. They kept $32,000. And the, $32,000 each is the split. And then the representative gets 10% of our fee. So that's $3,200 that in this case, and we'll go into that story later, the owner's, Harold's mother, which is Marion, Rose, she made $3,200. And then her sponsor at the time, Marlena, also made about $600 and something. And that was all that happened with the Papa John's. We ended up saving them money on trash in about 5 or 6 stores, some internet bills. We saved them over $20,000 on their advertising that they already had set up for 2021. And they had everything the same or better. And now Harold, over the next few years, is going to have $32,000 that he wouldn't have had. So that gives you a basic concept of what we do.
That's awesome. And, one of the questions that we'll get is with the business owners, typically when they have, their fee, it's a tax deduction, correct? Like whatever their fee is, it's tax deductible.
That's right.
It's really 100% savings for them. Is that right?
Well, that is right. Let's go into that for a second. So we saved Harold $32,000, and then he's going to write off as a professional service the $32,000 that he paid us. So he's going to save $32,000, and he's going to write off the other $32,000 that he paid us. He didn't switch any providers. He has the same exact providers, same level of service or better. In cases, we add this as an extra bonus. Maybe we got someone's internet speed doubled, tripled, quadrupled. They didn't pay us extra for it, or some movie channels or things like that. And that's an extra bonus that we don't even charge for as well.
Awesome. Well, let's go over maybe like a smaller example, maybe like a hair salon or a gym or something, like a small mom and pop. And then let's go over like the biggest one so far so people can get an idea. And I love how you broke it down, what the deal was, what the fee was, and then what the commission is.
Absolutely. Let's do one that just happened the other day. Should I say a person's name that's in the company?
No, don't mention names. You could just say the type of the business.
All right, so that's fine. So the type of business it was the person's father had a church, and this person themselves had gone through the process themselves with the savings, and then we saved them money, and we'll talk about that later. So we got one bill, and this was just the end of last week for the church. It was a Spectrum bill, and it was a bundle bill. So it's internet, TV, landline with Spectrum. Over the next 2 years, we're saving them over $3,000 on that same bill for the same thing. Now, the person that recommended it, because once again, he's a pastor. His father has the church, right? He's a pastor at the church. And he's going to, for the $3,000 in savings, he will make just for the appointment over $150, about $152 just for the appointment. And then his upline will also make money. So that's just one bill. And that just happened, 2 days ago. Let's take another example. Let's take an example of a hair salon. So we saved a hair salon as an example, almost $15,000. The $15,000 that was saved, they're doing all these credit card transactions for all their, hair, when people have to pay when they're getting a haircut. So you have merchant services. They have internet, they have landlines, they have their personal bills. So combination of all those different bills, it was about just under $15,000. And that's $7,500 that the owner is going to keep. The representative who set it up is going to made $750 roughly. And then, and that's just a normal everyday hair salon, not a big deal. The largest bill that we've ever done.
Wait, I want to stop there before you get to that one.
Sure.
So that was a hair salon. So like, I'm probably going to go get my hair cut this week because I'm going to the event for Savings Highway Global in Orlando. And so while I'm there, I might as well open my mouth and just say, hey, how would you like to save money on your bills without switching your services, right?
Exactly.
So what I want people to understand, if that's one hair salon, think about how many hair salons are in your town? How many barbershops? How many liquor stores? How many restaurants? How many businesses? You go to your Yellow Pages and look in your town or yellowpages.com. You might have 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000 businesses in your town. So if they made $750 for referring one hair salon,
yep.
What if they went out and referred 10 small businesses and they just made $7,500? Now we're talking about real money. If you
Exactly.
do it with one, what about the people who know how to canvas? Like, when I was growing up, I sold combined insurance and we had to go see 5 businesses a day. That was just part of the deal. That's just what you do. That's the job. What if you guys and ladies went out there and saw 5 businesses a day and you could make between $500 and $1,000 per business, and they, out of the 5, you had 2 that actually went through the process? That would be, $1,000 a day in income for referring a free review. Now, Jeff, do the people have to actually do the negotiations or anything? Our members?
No, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. All you have to do, and that's why these calls are going to start from today, is that we're going to train you on how to book a top-notch quality appointment. Nice. You're not even closing the deal. That money that we talked about and we're going to go into is for booking a high-quality appointment. So you're selling the appointment. You're not even closing the deal or involved in anything else. It's super easy.
Great. Right. Okay, so let's go into, I love this story. The largest savings you've had. How much was it? How did that happen?
Okay, so we had a representative that basically worked for a company that was a $125 million company that was part of a $6 billion company. And this $125 million company had one bill that they sent in was 13 offices, supposedly, for their internet and their landline. It turns out there was only 8 offices that were still, 5 offices had not used the service. So there's really only 8 offices for their landline and their internet. So what we did with this company is we negotiated for 5 years the same exact thing, and it saved them per month $14,000 and change a month. Overall 5-year savings, $743,000. The representative that booked the appointment made over $37,000 for that appointment. And we saved that company overall on their bills about $1 million. So if you bring on a company like that, we save $1 million, we split 50-50, $500,000, you get 10%. That's $50,000 right there. And there's plenty of those companies, plenty of
those companies, right? I mean, and also talking about chains and people getting into, well, I know somebody who owns an Arby's or whatever, can do one of them, and you can do all of theirs, and they can give you referrals, and it can keep going.
Exactly.
So that's amazing. Well, this is a very exciting thing for people who, this is totally separate from building a network. If you're a platinum partner with us, you can do this business. That's as simple as it is. All right, so Jeff, we're going to show them in a minute what to do, but where would you like to go next on this, on the training?
I think it's a good point to say that, what we're creating here with Savings Highway Global is a hybrid that doesn't exist, in the sense of you have your network marketing lane, and some people like to network and some people don't like to network. So as a platinum member, you have, everything to network available to you, but then you have some people that don't want to network, or it turns them off or whatever, and they're really, more focused as a business owner on their own business. So now you could basically go to them as a platinum member and say, hey, listen, you do not have to have a membership in order to do this service. And because you're platinum, they can then do the service, and then we could make them the money. And then after the fact, you can come back to them and say, oh, by the way, you can get referrals, number one, which we'll talk about later. Those referrals, let's say you do one business and then it leads to another business that you get referred, and then you have another business that from there. But then you could go back to them and say, listen, we saved you, $20,000. That's $10,000 that you're going to have over the next few years. How'd you like to save on your travel and save on all your other type of purchases? And then you bring it up because you've already saved them money, and they could reinvest some of their money now. So that's one thing I want to say, is if it being a hybrid, because once again, some people want to network and some people don't want to network, and you have both. Very important.
Yeah, one easy thing to do is to go back to the business owner, and because you have a specific set of categories that you do with the lowering the bills division, but then we have in the savings portal, we have the car insurance and the home insurance. So how easy is it to go back to that business or that church or that school and say, as long as it's a brick and mortar business, that's very important, everybody, brick and mortar, right? You have to have physical place with physical bills. You go back to them and you say, hey, we saved you $10,000. I have another division here that you can sign up for, and they'll do your car insurance and their home insurance too. And then you can just sign them up as a platinum member. Now you've got a business owner in as a platinum with you, which is very powerful.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, should we go to the screen share of showing how they do it, or do you want to give them a little bit of training first on, once you cover how to book a quality appointment, and then I'll get the screenshot up so that they can see where to do it.
Okay, so there's key points I want to talk about on training. So the goal is to be able to have a quality appointment. What is a quality appointment? It means when they show up on the calendar, it means that they're going to be ready. They understand what you're selling them on the service. You're explaining that you're not changing providers. You're going to have the same providers for the same level of service or better. Whatever we save you, we split. If we save you nothing on a bill, then there's no fee on that bill. So there's really no risk to you. And so one of the first key points, we're going to go into the theory of it, and then we're going to go into the practice, the application of it. The theory is, information-wise, is that there's the message and there's the messenger. So the message that you're presenting is that we can get you lower bills and free money. Would you be interested in lowering your bills and having free money? Yes or no? Okay.
Would you be interested in lowering your bills and having free money? Everybody,
yes,
write that in the chat. If you want to learn, just repetition is the mother of learning. Would you be interested in lowering your bills and getting free money? Write it in the chat there. And make sure the chat is, let me make sure the chat is available. Hold on. Yeah, chat's available. All right, go ahead. Write it in there, everybody. All right, go ahead, Jeff.
And then, so that's the message. Then there's the messenger. Okay. The messenger is you. And what the bridge between the message and the messenger, and I've heard this said, before, and you guys might have heard it. Some training you might have heard says, well, the messenger, it doesn't matter about, don't take it personally. If you deliver a message and they say no to you, don't take it personally. I disagree with that. I think you should take it personally, because it's not just the message or the messenger, it's both. So the message is free money, lowering your bills, free money. The messenger is you, and it's about credibility. It's the bridge. So the bridge between the message and the messenger is credibility. So how much credibility? We talk about having low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit means whatever you've done in your life to this point, if you talk to that business owner and you're telling that the message is free money by lowering your bills, if you have credibility with them, they're going to say, okay, tell me more. What do I have to do? And then you continue. If you don't have credibility with them, or you don't establish it, even if you don't know them and you're cold contacting someone, or because you could still establish credibility, which we'll go into further trainings about how to establish instant credibility, which we'll go over. But if you tell them, hey, free lowering your bills, free money, and they say, no, thank you. Well, it just shows that you don't have credibility with that person you're talking to. And then you have to sort of realize with the trainings on how to raise your credibility with your existing influence in your network, and how to establish credibility with a cold market as well, which we'll go into in further trainings. And this is an orientation call, and then we're going to be doing deep dive training every week. So the key, like Steve was saying, is you have different lanes. So just in this lane alone, if you do your own bills and have savings, the average savings residentially is $1,500 to $2,000 a year. Residentially, that's the average savings. So if we saved you $1,500 to $2,000 on your own bills, now you're going to have $750 to $1,000 over the next, we'll talk about it, year or two or three maybe, that you wouldn't have had. We'll go into that in a minute. But then, how do you get $1,200 so that everything else that Savings Highway has to offer, the networking, the travel, all the other benefits are covered? You just need to bring on in a year yourself and 1 to 2 businesses average. And then you're not only covering your $1,200 in platinum, but you're also going to be profitable as well. That's not a lot to do. 1 to 2 businesses. Now, let me explain how that is, and then I'll pass it back to you for a minute, Steve. Is that, let's say, once again, you're a pastor of a church. Someone owns that church. There's one. Okay, we saved the church $5,000 to $10,000. Let's just say, okay, that's one. Then, because you're a pastor and you're a network, one person that we're doing their personal bills, we just found out today, we actually got him savings. He just signed up. He oversees the finances of 49 Presbyterian churches, 49 himself. And he's part of a network that has, I think, 100 plus churches in that network, 140 or something like that. So now we've already established that we've got savings for him. He doesn't know it yet. We're going to show him that he's got the savings, step one. And then we start doing a pilot with a couple of those Presbyterian churches that he manages, just so he knows that it's safe. Now, it's very important for all of you guys that when you add something, when you bring something to somebody and it works well, now you have more trust and credibility. So there's a calculated risk that this person is taking by working with you. If you bring them something and it doesn't work out, they take a calculated risk. Now it actually affects their credibility and the rest of their business. So with this, once again, we've established, hundreds and hundreds and so much in savings over the last year and change that you know that it's safe for you to jump in the pool and dive in and share it with people, because we've had very little, hardly any mistakes that have happened. I'll give you one statistic that's important as well. In all the thousands of bills that we did last year, we only had one bill that was one bill and one deal that we negotiated that the provider reneged on the deal, and we had to issue them a refund for that one bill and on the invoice. Out of all the thousands of bills and all the mistakes that are made, we only had one. That's an incredible track. So with that being said, what I'm just letting you guys know is that you're going to have them come on board and try it. Once we get that business savings, then we could then work the referrals. Now that church can refer another church to another pastor, or,
Right.
you know, that owner, Pizza Papa John's, can refer to another Papa John's, or that gym owner, Farrell's Gym, can share it with other Farrell's Gym's owner. This is what happens. Or the hair salon across, you know, is in a plaza with other businesses around them, and they could share it with their neighbors, right? So with that, I'll pass it back to you, but that's the beginning steps of how to cover all of your, you know, your $100 a month platinum fees just from the Lower Your Bills program alone.
Yeah, so that's great. So what we've done in the history of this is we started out and we opened up for everybody to try this just because we wanted to develop the stories, right? Now we have literally hundreds of people who've saved money with this. And now this is becoming a business only part of our business, right? So we're referring businesses. However, once you do become a platinum executive, you can do your own bills as well. But we already have all the stories and the testimonials for you to use and to know that it works, right? How many millions of dollars would you say you guys have saved businesses over the years?
Many millions. And the thing is that's why we're changing gears as well, because I would say, you know, we did probably 95% residential and 5% savings highway last year.
Right.
So now we want to make it more, flip it around and have it close, way more than 50% of it being businesses and residential being much smaller. And then we're going to have all these different stories. As everyone who's on this video call tonight, this training, you're in the very beginning as pioneers. You're going to hear the testimonials starting to come in. Oh, wow, this person just made $3,000 on this appointment. This one made $10,000. This one made $5,000. And then it's going to be a fury, you know, a feeding frenzy, because everybody's going to want to do it, because just like that. But also remember that as we continue to scale together, that's why we're modifying things all the time and recalibrating, so that we could always give you guys the best opportunity to make the most money with the least amount of effort.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to share the screen and we're going to show everybody how easy this is. So this is basically the message here. And all you're going to do, folks, is when you're talking to a business, you're going to go to freesavingsreview.com. You can show them this slideshow if you want. That will kind of go over is stop overpaying your bills, start saving now, get a free savings review. Okay, there's the one we talked about with the Papa John's. And it says stop overpaying your bills, get free cash. So step one is get the free savings review. Step two is we do all the renegotiations and save you money on your bills. Step three, we split the savings 50-50. Now, Jeff, I just want to bring this question up. I know with residential, a lot of people, you know, they want to pay their fee over time because they're not a business. They're not as cash fluid. But what about businesses? What percentage of businesses pay all in one sum or over 2 or 3 months? What is the actual numbers on that?
The numbers actually between, you know, the business owners are going to pay it within 1 to 3 payments. Pretty much almost every single one has done that in almost 9 years within 3. Even if we take the residential numbers, there's only been 4 people residentially that have done a 12-month payment plan, just 4. So we always work it out anyways. Some people, once again, legitimately, people and businesses are cash challenged or they're illiquid. But we explain on the front end before we start any negotiations thoroughly that this is how the scenario is going to look before they even sign up. What if we save you $100,000? You know, because we already did the savings review, and you owe us 50. How would you want to pay us? Would you want to pay us 50,000 or 25 in 2 payments? What are you thinking with that type of scenario would work for you? So we can kind of get a sense if someone's cash challenged or not. And then if we get a sense that they are cash challenged, we could say, look, we have a 12-month payment plan. You could spread it out and just give up 5 or 10% of the savings for an extended payment plan. But just like any other type of business, and this is where I think some people didn't really understand it, is that if you pay people to come and renovate your house, when the work is done, you have to pay them. Normally you pay a deposit and then the work is done and then you pay them. When we do the savings negotiations, the deal is done. So sometimes people get confused and say, well, I don't see my savings for a year or 2 years. That's your savings, but the work is already done, you see? So we just have to work out something with you that is workable, that you can make your payments. And we always figure out a way, if some, at the end of the savings, they know in advance that's how it's going to be. And then when it comes time to pay, we work something out that works for them always.
Yeah, and with businesses, so they basically, let's make it real simple to understand. So here's a business, they have a bunch of bills. We say, hey, we're going to help you lower your bills. You're not going to have to switch your providers. And we're going to get on the phone literally for hours, sometimes redialing many times. We're going to renegotiate all your bills. We have a special secret sauce. We know how to get you the most savings possible. You're going to have the same companies, the same bills. Even when people are swiping a card, we don't even have to switch your merchant provider. We're going to renegotiate your merchant deal for you so you pay less money. Imagine every time somebody swipes and buys something in your restaurant or wherever it is, that you're going to save money. So basically, same bills, same companies. We're going to do a ton of work for you. And then at the end of that work, we're going to show you how much you saved. Now, if we save you $50,000, let's take a mom and pop. Let's say we save you $10,000, right? So $5,000 is going to be the fee. Are you going to be able to pay that in 1 month or 2 months or 3 months? How are you going to do it? Now, a business, by the way, that fee is completely tax deductible. So
That's
a
right.
business is like, oh, I'm going to save $5,000. I'm going to write off $5,000. Here's the money. Because they're not, an individual. So businesses think differently. So they're going to just have no problem doing it, right? And they're going to know going in. So that way you guys can feel comfortable, and ladies, you can feel comfortable referring people who own businesses that you have connections with, because they're going to know how it works. They're going to save money and you're going to make money. Now, if they do pay it over 3 months, guess how your commissions are going to come in? Over 3 months. So every time that they pay, then the following month you'll get paid. They pay the next month, the following month you'll get paid. So it'll be like that. All right. So let's get back to this. You can see the screen, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. So on this, it's just a little slideshow. The fee is tax deductible. There we go. This is just like free money. Stop overpaying your bills. Start saving now. Get your free savings review. So they can also scroll down and they can see some of the kind of companies you can show them. Well, these are some of the companies that we have lowered the bills with. These are all real, companies that Jeff's team has done for businesses and lowered their bills. Okay. And it says, what kind of bills can we do? Right. And real people, real savings. This is some testimonials. You can build your confidence just by looking at some of these testimonials. Okay. And so then it tells you down here, 100% no risk guarantee. If there's no savings, there's no fee. Step 1 is set up your free savings review. Step 2 is get your bills ready from the list above. Step 3, we'll call you at a specific time. We're going to get you on a calendar, see? All right, so when they click to get the free savings review, you're going to do this for them, right? So then when we get there, this is going to be the calendar, okay? So then they're going to find a time or a date that's available, click on the calendar, and then as you're setting it up, it's going to ask who is the referring agent or who's the referring representative.
Do you want to click?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Which one should I do? Okay, so let's say Tuesday the 15th. All right, so then there's a 12 o'clock.
So click it.
All right. And by the way, I want to mention, we're going to give you guys, if you have businesses, Jeff has time for businesses, but what are the main hours that you have some free slots open that are not on the calendar?
Well, what's going to happen, right, is that the calendar is going to be shortened and normalized in the next couple of weeks. So you probably only have to wait a week or 2 weeks. And if you have a super VIP, since you're going to be working with us, then you'll be able to text me or email me and we'll fit them in. We'll get them in.
We'll fit them in. So in other words, if you get a business, a VIP, we're going to fit them in. So just email us at support and say, look, I've got a business. We're going to connect you. So even if the calendar is not available, we'll make it happen. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to confirm. Okay, go ahead, Jeff. You want to take it over?
This is the information they're putting in. They're putting in the first name of the person, the last name, the email address, the phone number, if you want to add your information, and then you're going to put, for instance, what type of bills. So when we have the appointment, you can have a few different bills that you can get from them. Hey, who do you have for your cell phone? Who do you have for your internet? Who do you have do you have security? Do you pay for merchant services? List a few of them. So at least we have an idea of, when we have the appointment, what they have. Are the bills, in this case, residential, business, or both? So in this case, we'll start with business, and you can let them know we could also do your residential bills in addition to the business bills as well, once we show you. Do you have a separate office away from your home, a brick and mortar business? So we're looking at businesses that have a separate location from the businesses that just are working from home, because they'll have extra bills and expenses. And then you're going to put your username. You're going to put your own username, right? And then if there's not a username for the business because they're coming in through you, you scroll down to the bottom and just put your name and phone number over here as the authorized platinum representative for the Lower Your Bills program for Savings Highway. And then you hit submit, and it's done. I mean, how long does that take?
About a minute.
Right?
And then you schedule the event. Okay, so let's talk about, after it is scheduled, what is the duty of the rep? I mean, we got to make sure that they're going to put it on their calendar, they're going to follow up, and they're going to text or call that person that morning, remind them about it, or the night before. And what do they need to say to them? What do they need to have them do to prepare for this? So remember, guys and ladies, you are setting up a qualified appointment, somebody who knows the basics of it, and then you got to make sure that they show up. And that's pretty much it. Then it's turned over.
Yeah, the fortunes in the follow-up. You have to I'd say the day of, because things happen, especially with business owners. They have fires to put out, etc. The day of, probably a few hours before, just remind them. They're going to get a text appointment reminder for the appointment number one. The system's going to send them an appointment reminder. But I want you, as the rep, to follow up and say, oh, by the way, remember you have that appointment at 3:30. You're still good for it, right? Right. And if they're good for it, then just leave everything alone. Or if you have my phone number, you can text me or email me, let me know they're good. And if they're not, then you can reschedule them, and you go back to the portal and do the rescheduling link and reschedule them for another date, because they're not going to be able to.
One more thing I want to put in there is, okay, if you're the business owner, Jeff, okay, so I call you, hey, Jeff, Steve, I was just calling you to remind you about your meeting for lowering your bills and saving you money today. It's at 3:00. You're still on for that, right?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Listen, do me a quick favor. Just be sure you have at least one or two or three of your types of bills that you're going to lower ready, with all the information, so that way it can be real efficient. And, you can do all your bills, or you can just do one or two, whatever you feel comfortable with to get started. But be sure you have at least a couple of your bills ready for that appointment. Is that cool?
That's cool. And I'll add one thing. What you could say to them, I always start the savings review off by saying, listen, we're going to go through a list of the bills that we can do, and then we're going to go through a list of the bills that we don't do. So it saves people time having to spend time vetting to get their electric bill, and we don't do those bills, so it wastes their time. So right. What you want to say to them is, listen, just have a few of the bills, that we could do, like in your internet bill, that you can email over during the savings review call, that right. You can email over. And if whatever bills you don't have, then you could gather them over the next, whenever you're ready, next few days. Or if you want to just try, and just go from there. Some people might be skeptical, and you could say, well, let's just do a beta test on a couple bills. Some people might be like, you can do all my bills. So it doesn't matter if we get them all up front or over the next few days or weeks. We'll get them anyways. Doesn't matter.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are coming towards the end here, so we're going to start taking questions.
You guys have to remember too, okay? I didn't just create this service in this industry, but we are by far the best in it. What we get 5 to 6 times the savings that anybody in this space attempts to try to do. They all came after me in starting this. I started it back in 2013. And it's very important to understand that when you have the ability to work with the best in a category, in an industry, if you get someone on this appointment, the chances of me right now, I'm going to be closing them myself for you. So you have the chances of them closing are at least 80%. If they make the appointment, the chances of them closing are about 80%. If you think of anything you've ever done in booking appointments or closing, that type of close ratio is unheard of. So that's what I want you to understand. Remember, is that this is going to be a feeder, not just for you financially, but also it's a very easy client acquisition, because when you explain to people that you're able to save them money on their bills and they've never heard of it before, it's very intriguing to people. It's like it draws people in to want to work with you versus other things you can offer. Their ears perk up because it's a unique selling proposition. And when you say to them that you are you're a representative of the best company in the whole world, and that we get 5 to 6 times the savings, and then you don't have, if you're going to a restaurant, that restaurant's not working with the bill negotiation service. You're not trying to say why we're better. They've never heard of it before.
Right.
So it's virgin territory across the whole country. So it's very important to understand. Timing.
Okay, very good. I'm getting a lot of people saying that they're very serious. And so what I want everybody to do, I gave you 2 links here. One of them is the secretbusinessextractor.com. What that is a place where you can go extract your businesses in any city, in any type of category. And it'll just give you their website, their email, their phone number, and all that kind of stuff. It's a great program to know who you want to talk to. What I'm going to say is, if you just blast this out and send emails, you're going to get 0 response. You have to talk with the people. This is a hands-on business. We got a question from Faith. Is it residual? It's residual in the fact that in a year or 2 years, whenever their savings stop, Jeff's team is going to know. It's on their calendar, and then they're going to contact them again and say, okay, let's go get you savings again. So every time they get you savings, you're going to make money again.
Yes.
And Denise is asking, do I do a video chat with the corporate office?
Say it again.
She said, do I do a video chat with the corporate office? I'm not sure exactly what that means.
I don't either. But what I can tell you is this. You just want to just keep it simple. When and it's about credibility. If you are you trying it a couple of times and you're not getting appointments that stick on the calendar, utilize your upline. Steve, we're going to be doing this paying 10 levels, right?
Yeah. Let me, let's move on, because we got to close in 3 minutes, but okay. So finish that one up. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that you can have your sponsor or other people that have credibility get involved so that you can leverage their credibility to help you to book the quality appointment, because there's going to be more people involved than just you and your sponsor and me and us. So that's my point. Absolutely. And the way the compensation, we're just about to add the 10 levels. So the person who makes a referral gets, the largest amount. Their sponsor will get a nice chunk, and then up to 8 more people. That's one reason you want to be executive too, so you never miss any of your 10 levels in any of the services that we're launching at the event and in this service and in healthcare. Question here, great question. Thank you, Daniel. Can you help Canadian businesses? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're the only company that helps Canadian businesses lower their bills that we know of. Also, Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands. Am I missing anything? US and Canada. Fantastic. A lot of people very serious. Gary Thrash, I'm very serious about this. I want to learn more how to do this successfully. Knowledge is power. John says, do you do savings for businesses globally? The ones we said, US, Canada, Virgin Islands, Guam, Puerto Rico. All right. Michael Brickhouse, extremely serious. Kevin Mounts, can we set next day appointments? The way that you're going to do that right now until the calendar's opening up, Kevin, you're going to need to email us, and we're going to get you in contact with Jeff and his team. They'll help you squeeze those businesses in. There's a huge demand because everybody wants this free money. All right. Scotty, will you be doing a back office run through again? We're doing that every Tuesday, buddy. Every Tuesday at 8. Okay. Very serious indeed, Ernest. Coach says woohoo. Janice, very serious. Anybody else? Final question. Type it in if you got a question. Jeff, we appreciate your time. Now, I asked Jeff, I said, Jeff, if you want
these people to really latch on here and be successful, I want you to create a small group of very serious people that you're going to train every Monday. So I'm not going to be here every time. He's going to be training you. Hand select. So here's what you're going to do. If you are serious, you're going to email savingsglobal@gmail.com. That's our support email. I typed it. I'm going to put it in again. savingsglobal@gmail.com. You're going to email there with the subject, serious about lowering business bills, the LBB, serious about LBB, okay? If you do that, we're going to put you on the list for next week, all right? That's the only people who's going to get invited next week. So if you're serious about it, you're going to have to let us know. We're not going to blast this out to the whole company every week, okay? Go ahead, Jeff.
What I was going to say as well is that, today was the overview. We're going to take it piece by piece. We're going to have these calls also saved, right, in a training module. So every one of these calls, some people are able to make it on this call. Some people that are serious also are going to be able to watch a replay. So we're going to have training modules of different topics every single Monday and deep dive into them, so you have all the tools that you need to be hand trained and be the best at this in the whole country.
And where you're going to find that, it's going to be in your Mentors Club, your Platinum Mentors Club in your back office. That's where we'll have a specific page just for lowering the bills, and each of these calls will be recorded. You can go back and listen, wait for the next call, gain your knowledge. And we've got reps who've already referred businesses here and been paid. So this is not new, folks. You can do this. Anybody can do this. Everybody has bills that they want to save, every business. So every business you look at now, like when I go to get my haircut, I'm going to think, well, if I can talk to the right person here, instead of just spending 30 bucks on my haircut, I'm going to walk out and make 500 for saving them money. So think of it like that. Thanks, everybody. God bless you. Harry says she's in. Richard, can he do his residential bills? Yes, you need to make it Platinum Executive. As long as you get 10 referrals, you're in Platinum Executive you can. Coach is absolutely serious. Joel P, very exciting, great presentation. Thank you. God bless everybody. Hey, 10 minutes from now, makeandsavemore.com. You want to build your organization? Bring people to that call. Say, listen, man, I don't care what you're doing right now. You got to see this webinar with me. People are saving thousands of dollars and we're making money too. You can't miss this. This is a ground floor opportunity. Let's get on this call. Let's go right now and get them on that call in 10 minutes. God bless you and we'll see you there. Thanks, Jeff.
See everybody next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.